Hello, hello. Am I live and can you hear me? Let's see here. See if I'm live. Let's see if it's doing the things it needs to do. Hello, hello, and good morning. I know it's rather early in the morning for so many of you. Yeah, you can hear me great. I know it's rather early in the morning for a lot of you. Um, I decided to go ahead and do this now because in about 30 minutes I'm going to be waking my kid up so that we can start schooling. The school for us started back Monday. Today's Wednesday? Yeah, today's Wednesday. So it started back on Monday, and so we're getting back into the routine of schooling and life, like what life is looking like for us right now. So I do a mixture of like a state run schooling program and my own thing. I like to bring in a lot of African American studies. We're Muslim, so we bring in a lot of Islamic studies and stuff into it. So I love being able um, to know what's going on in his classes and also to be able to bring in what I feel like he's needing as well. This semester he's in the ninth grade, by the way. He's 14, and he's starting American government. So this will be interesting to hear. Anyway, so that's a whole nother live. I'll talk about that on another day. Y'all, seriously, my little cup is dirty, but this is like the best coffee that I've made in a long time. Oh my gosh, I am just loving this so much. What is on here? I'm loving this so much. I put some. Okay, so International Delight, Stone Cold Creamery, Sweet Cream Stone Cold Creamery is my favorite coffee creamer. And I love it. I love it. I love it so much. I put it in everything, including my oatmeal. If you've been on any of my lives where I've talked about my coffee creamer addiction, I put it in everything. But this morning, also, I put a little bit of walnut milk in here, and then just a little bit of the coffee creamer, like not as much as I normally do. And it's just so freaking smooth and delicious. I just love it so much, y'all. Mm. So, okay, what I want to talk about today, I want to talk about how whatever it is that you're struggling with, whatever it is, like we all have different struggles as multi creative, multi passionate entrepreneurs here. So, what one person is going through, another person may not have problems with that at all. So, I asked a question in the group: what is the your biggest struggle? Being a multi passionate entrepreneur, and a couple of you guys put that down. You answered, and I thought that the answers were really, really very good. And I think that a lot of what you guys put down as answers to the question is a lot of what other people are experiencing as well. So I wanted to go through and talk to you guys about some of the things that I've done to kind of get out of some of these hurdles, and and hopefully it will help you um, to to move past some of the struggles that you're having right now as well. So let's get into it because, as I said, I obviously don't have that much time. Okay, so um, so the first one I'm going to tackle is learning about what products you should be creating. Like if you've got obviously multiple interests, because that's what we do here, then knowing which one you should be starting with and which one should take precedence over the other. I think Rashi actually asked that was one thing that she said she was having a hard time with. And so here's what I'm going to say. For me, and this is probably going to be my answer for a lot of stuff, is that learning about my human design, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a human design practitioner and I can actually, do your chart readings. I'm telling you this because this is what has helped me, like tremendously. Actually knowing about my human design and knowing how I'm meant to show up in the world, that has really helped me to understand what I'm supposed to be doing. For example, now this is something that I'm still struggling with and I'm still learning. So this is really really a great example to put into context. When I decide what it is that I'm going to be working on, what I'm going to create, I have to constantly remind myself that I get to do that. Like, I get to just do what feels good for me, what is lighting up my soul. Like, that is something that I literally have to tell myself, no, you don't have to do the money making activities. You get to just do what feels good for you in the moment, because that's how my human design is set up. And I love that. But that is, again, something that I struggle with, because that's not something that I was ever taught. I was not ever taught that it's okay for me to do what feels good. But here's what happens when I work on the things that I absolutely love working on in the moment, is that I never just do just one thing in regards to that. Let's just say I'm creating products for my Redbubble site or Society 6. I don't ever just sit and create one design. I create four or five. Just whatever. I'm in the mood to do it, so I do it. So I'm creating that. I'm doing what I need to do, and then I'm uploading it. And so by working on what feels good in the moment, I'm allowing myself to actually be more productive. So I want you to consider that, especially if you know what your human design is, and if you know that your human design says that, oh, you're supposed to live more in the moment. Like, that was a hard thing for me to really lean into living in the moment, because again, that's not at all what I was taught, to live in the moment, to do what feels good. Never. I mean, who learned that? Nobody. Nobody learned that. So that is something that I have to still continue when I get all up in my head, is to remind myself, no, you, ma'am, you get to do what feels good for you in the moment. And as I said, when I started really looking at when I practice that, it's the most productive thing ever. And it allows me to make the best decisions ever, because again, as I said, when I'm working on things that I really want to be working on, I'm not just doing like a one thing. I am very, very productive. Very, very productive. When you're inspired and you feel like taking action on that thing, you can imagine that you're not just like, I don't know. You're like, oh my gosh, this feels good to do. I'm going to do this. And then you start doing it, and then it's just like amazing. And you're not just, I don't just create just one design. I create four or five, so you can understand. Now, what does that have to do with understanding which products you should be working on, which services, whatever it is? It really comes down to you also looking at, why do you think that you're not supposed to, um, let me put it this way. Why do you think that, what was the question? I have to find the question. The answer. Let me find it. And here it is. Okay. Figuring out which passion takes precedence over the other. I feel like, why do you feel like one has to take precedence over the other? In my mind, when I hear that, I think that we've gotten into our linear mind. We're non-linear people. We don't follow like what other people do. So we've gotten into our linear minds, and we're thinking that, what is the criteria for the precedence? Like, that's what my question is, that I'm very, very ineloquent with, is when there's a precedence, what is the criteria that you're setting for this precedence? And what I mean by that is, I think that a lot of times when we're trying to set a precedence over which thing we should be working on over the other, it has to do with the way we were taught, the way success is created. And so here's a precedence a criteria for a precedence I'd like for you to consider. The precedence is what feels good in the moment. The precedence is knowing that if you're working on the things that feel amazing for you to be doing, that is the precedence. That is the criteria. If you're trying to force yourself to work on something that you really don't want to be working on, then it's going to take you a little bit longer to do. Not saying that you shouldn't push yourself sometimes, not saying that you shouldn't actually look at your thoughts and see what's really going on with why do you feel like you don't want to work on it. And it could be, I feel like I don't want to work on this because it's not going to bring in the amount of money that I want, or this is a lower cost item, or this is going to take too much work. It could be that that's what's going on in your head, and it's creating the, oh my goodness, I don't really want to work on this today. It could be that, but it also could be that you just feel like working on something else. I can't give you that answer because everybody has a different um, pathway, or and a different struggle in that. Some people struggle with, no, I really don't want to work on this thing because I think that it's not going to be as profitable as the other thing. And if you're that person, then you need to work on leaning into what feels good in the moment. But if you are a person who is saying, oh my gosh, like I don't want to work on this, and you're looking at your thought processes as to why, like that's what our brain is for, is to help us understand why we're feeling the way that we're feeling. If you're having a different type of thought process, then you need to look at that and then kind of like do the opposite. Like if I feel like, again, with the example of I want to work on this particular thing because I know that it's going to be more profitable, then you need to do the opposite of what your brain is telling you to do and lean into what's feeling good. And if you are going back to that all the time of what, asking yourself that question, what feels good for me to work on right now? What feels good for me to work on right now? Then that's going to be the best decision making process tool for you to use and for you to cultivate, is what feels good for me to work on right now. And it being okay for me to follow that desire, for me to follow the feel good of, oh my gosh, my soul is like set completely on fire. I'll give you an example. Yesterday I was just like, ooh, like I have a membership, and I'm like, I want to create some things for the membership. I want to create like a little mini course or something for the membership, because in my mind I feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have a lot of stuff in there. I'm charging people $15 a month, there's not a lot of stuff in there. And I'm like, I need to make some stuff for the membership. But honestly, when I started to do it, I'm like, that's not what I really felt like doing. And I was pushing and it was hard. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, what should I create in here? It was pushing, hard. Again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't push yourself to out of your comfort zone, but you also have to look at where you are in that space. In that very moment, who are you being? And in that very moment, I was not practicing doing what felt good. I was not practicing leaning into what is going to set my soul on fire in this moment. Because for me, I am one of those people who a lot is all up in their head, and so I have to drop into my body and like connect with what feels good. And that is so freaking hard for us people, which most of us are people who have been taught to be up in our head and make our decisions from our headspace instead of our heart, our soul, and our bodies. So I had to like stop and just like stop pushing, stop forcing. You're in your head. Stop it. Stop it. They're good in the membership. They've got amazing things over there. They've got amazing things. When you create something, it's going to be amazing and valuable for them. Today's not that day. What would you like to be doing? And then I decided that I really wanted to just be creating. I wanted to go through my files and see what other products for like digital designs that I had, or digital planners and stuff like that, to put up on my website for sale, because I just created my new website and it's not completely finished, but I wanted to create some more digital products. And I had some already, so I'm like, well, before I go and create, then let me see what I have. If maybe there's something of inspiration I can take from the designs that I already have and create something, on a 2.0 level or whatever, So that's what I worked on. So I hope that kind of helps you. Who are you being? Where are you at in the space of making these decisions? Are you making them from your head, or are you making them from your body and your heart space? And then the opposite could be true. If you're a person who's always like making decisions from their body, and you need to kind of be up in your head a little bit, then you may need to do that. But only you can determine like where you are and who you are and who you're being in those moments where you are needing to make decisions. Again, I'm going to say this 1 million more times. If you don't know your human design, please, like, I'm available. It's not that expensive to have this human design, your business human design. I do a business focused human design reading. It's really, it's so worth it. I promise you, it is the most valuable thing ever. That what it does is it gives you a blueprint for who you are being. Like, for, I'll tell you something about me. Okay, so for me, this is so crazy because I never would have thought that this would be a truth as far as acceptable truth. Okay, I'm a 3-5 manifesting generator. I am not a conformist. I am all about being a non-conformist. I am all about trial and error. I'm all about teaching people and showing people, rather, not really so much teaching, but showing through, teaching them through showing them that there is a different way of living and that you can actually live your life on your terms. You don't have to do it this way. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I did not. And it's funny because me and my biz bestie Kim, we have talked about this about myself for years. Years, y'all. I'm talking about years. And it wasn't until I actually learned that about myself that I was, and started to lean into accepting that. It's like, oh, well, that's true. Like, that's like who I naturally am, but that's not what I was taught is going to be the pathway for success and satisfaction. That's not what I was taught. Do you get that? Like, being a nonconformist and doing things differently and helping people see, like, through my own life and my shared and sharing my lived experiences, that this is the way that you can do things. You don't have to do things the way that other people told you to. You can do things the way that you want to. I wouldn't have known that because that's never, ever, ever what I was taught. It just wasn't. And so living in the conditioned space of the things that my family taught me, my religion teaches me, my coaches, my previous coaches have taught me, and I've loved all of my coaches. I've loved all of them. I've gotten so much great value out of the things that I've learned. But and however, right now at this point in my life, I understand that some of the things that I was taught, I can't actually move on. The and what the good thing is about the things that I was taught is that I can't actually use is that now I understand what you're being taught, and I understand what you're thinking because I thought it too, and I understand that the things that we have, like, set up for ourselves based on what we've learned in life and what we've been taught, and all the books and all the courses or whatever, is that now I know exactly what it is that you're being taught, and that it doesn't apply to you. It doesn't apply to you. So to go back to the question, let me pull that back up. Okay, figuring out which passions takes precedence over the other. Okay, that's that. Which passions takes precedence over the other is number one, reevaluate the criteria that you set up for yourself over what is precedence. Why does the precedence you have currently set up why is that in place? And reevaluating the criteria for that precedence and knocking it out the box and deciding that you don't have to do it that way. You get to just allow, and this was an experiment. Like, human design is an experiment. Our lives are experiments. Our businesses are experiments, as much as we don't want to believe that. Like, it's like, no, you've got the exact answer, and you've got the exact answer, and she's got the exact answer. No, it's all an experiment because we're all humans, and as long as we're living on this earth, we cannot unhumanize our lived experiences. They are experiments. So for me, like I said, what my experiment was to practice doing what feels good in the moment. So if that sounds like it's something that you need to do, then do it. Practice living in the moment and allow that allow that belief to cultivate, and know that it's going to lead you to your answers, to whatever it is that is the criteria that you need to set for precedence. Okay. So the other part of that question is, and then how to balance the two without losing interest or neglecting the other. Here's my answer on that. If you don't feel like doing it, then you just don't feel like doing it. If it's not fun for you, then don't do it. One of the things that I realized in just like recently is in promoting this Canva and print on demand class. So if you don't know, I'm going to be running this class on how to create designs in Canva and how to max your product designs for uploading to print on demand sites, because you can create your designs in Canva, but they're not all the not gonna be able to be uploaded to print on demand because of the way that it's structured. Canva has it, and there's some rules around that, and I want to teach you guys how to do that. The class is only $15. You should take it. You should definitely take it. It is going to be hosted in my membership. My membership community is for multi-passionate entrepreneurs who are wanting to create a thriving soul-led business around their passion. So this is for you. You know, it's for you, and it's going to be held in the membership. By the way, caveat: if you just to explain that the class is $15 because the membership is $15. So you're paying to get into the membership, which is just $15 a month. And if you would like to no longer continue the membership after you take the class, then you can cancel the membership. Easy, right? So, okay, that's that. Now, okay, when I was marketing for this class, I was so freaking excited. Oh my gosh, like, do they want to learn this? Oh my gosh, I want to freaking teach this. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. And so then I started creating promotional stuff in Canva and started putting it all out and putting out feelers, just like, who wants to take this class? Like, anybody want to take this class? Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to teach this class. And then a few days later, I was just like, oh, I don't feel like marketing this class anymore. Now the class is not going on until towards the end of January, the 27th of January to be exact. So I've got some time to market, but, and this is one thing that I was telling one of my friends, it's just like, I'm not marketing unless I really feel like it. Like, unless I really feel like it. So two things that I can do. I can look at my thoughts and decide that I want to have a different thought process to create a different feeling. I need to be in an energy. I want to be in the energy that I was in when I was like excited in the first place. Because you want to know why? Because I didn't care about who did sign up and who didn't. I was excited about it, and that allowed me and my energy to create whatever I created, the promotions, the popping into people's DMs, like I did that, and even going into other groups and talking about it, because I was in a feel good energy, and I was like so lit on fire about it that it didn't really matter to me who signed up, when they're going to sign up, whatever. Like, I just left it. Like, that's not my responsibility to know who is going to sign up and when they're going to sign up. My responsibility is to be in the energy that I want to be in and feel the way that I want to feel, and then put it out there. Now, that is not to say that you have to be like, oh, well, I'm not in the energy, so I'm just not going to do it. No, you get to do these two things. You get to either decide that you're going to look at your emotions and your thoughts around your emotions. Why don't you feel like promoting? Like really, like what you're feeling like, ugh, this doesn't feel good to promote. Why not? Use your brain. Let your brain come up with all the answers. But you really have to ask, like, and let's just say you really have to be willing to see the truth about your thoughts. You don't feel like promoting because you don't think it's going to amount to anything. You don't feel like putting out those posts because you think that people are not going to sign up and you're going to be wasting your time. You don't feel like promoting because maybe the price isn't right, maybe you feel like you don't have the right words, whatever. It's all up in your head. But you get to decide, well, I don't want to feel this way. That doesn't mean that you can't go out and put out content because you're not like 100% in belief about what it is that you're selling or you're offering. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you would like to feel and be in the energy that you feel like you need to be in, then do that. Look at your brain. Allow your brain to see things from a different perspective. Change the way that you feel, and then go out there and promote. That's what I did. So that's number one. That's one way you can do it. The second thing that you can do is to just put it out there anyway. Just whatever energy you're in, just put it out there anyway. Put it out there anyway. The reason why I say that is because it's like a twofold thing. Sometimes when we're all up in our head, we we need to just take action, and then there's so much clarity that will come from that action, right? So sometimes if you take the action even though you're not in the right energy, you'll start to get clear on, okay, well, this, I'm writing this out, oh, this is not the words that I want to say, I want to say this. So you get it. So through action comes a lot of clarity. So that's two things. You can just take action and let it be what it is, and know that through this action you're going to become very clear on what it is you should be saying. Maybe the pricing is wrong, maybe you want to change, how you're talking about it. Or you can look at your thoughts, and you can decide to have a different perspective, have a different thought, a different belief, so that you can feel differently and you can show up in the energy that you really, really wanting to be in. So I lost my train of thought. Okay. So, in regards to her question, that was in regards to her question, without losing interest and neglecting the other. So, look at that. Look at why you're neglecting the other. And sometimes it just, like, can we just, like, say, like, who cares? In regards to that thing right now is not important. Like, sometimes it's just that. Like, okay, I have digital products that I offer, like planning pages, planners, and stuff like that. I'm creating a bullet journal. I am doing classes. I've got my print on demand stuff. So I don't always work on all this stuff at all the time. So that doesn't mean that I don't want to do them anymore. And if I don't want to do them anymore, then it's okay for me to just not do them anymore. Like, it really is. So, and what the good thing about a lot of the things that we do as multi creatives is that a lot of it it's like a one and done. So, like, if you're doing like print on demand, like I'm doing, if I don't feel like creating any designs or talking about it that day, it's already there. There's blog posts about it, there's podcast about it, there's social media post about it, whatever. It's already there. It's not like I haven't done anything with it, because now I want to work on my digital planners. If I want to work on my digital planners, that's just what I want to work on. I want you guys to really start to practice that it gets to be this easy. That whatever it is that I am feeling like working on is and that is the right answer. That is the best decision. I really want you guys to really start leaning into that. It's so super, super important for you to really start understanding that we don't do things the way that they do. We just don't. And it's okay. There is nothing wrong with us. We are not here to conform. We are not here to run the same paths, to run the same roads. We are here to go off the beaten path and create something new. Like, that's just what we're here for. And we have to start to really embody that, and lean into being okay, like cultivating the belief that it's okay for me to be this way. It's okay. I've got complete permission. This is a confirmation from source, God, Allah, Yahweh, the higher power of your understanding, that whatever it is that you are desiring and feeling like doing, that is exactly what you're supposed to be doing. So it's not neglecting the other. It's only neglecting because you have a mindset of, if I don't do this, then I'm not going to make money, or I'm not going to, get the clients or the customers, whatever. That's the only reason why we would feel like something is being neglected, is because we've put a criteria on that particular thing, instead of the criteria being on what feels good for us as multi-passionates. Okay? All right. So the next one is about staying consistent. Consistency, for me, goes hand in hand with what do I feel like working on. Just like I said earlier about it, what I learned is that when I want to work on something, then I'm way more consistent, I'm way more productive. Consistency looks different for all of us. Sometimes some of us need to be consistent in cultivating the belief that what we're doing is okay for us to be doing. And sometimes the consistency is like a discipline type of thing. Everybody's discipline and consistency looks different for everyone. What I need to be disciplined in and have consistency around may be different than what you need to be disciplined and consistent around. So, like for me, I'm not very consistent with social media posts. And so at this time, when I look at, okay, I'm not consistent. First of all, what does consistent look like? Number one. And number two is, who said you have to do that? Who said you have to do that? Where is that written at that you have to do that? We don't follow their rules. We do not follow their rules. Our consistency, like I had to, in my mind, when I think about, oh my gosh, what feels like the most amazing thing to do and be, and if I could have it all the way that I want to have it, then what would that look like? And by the way, I put a was it this, no, I think it's up for next month that I scheduled it out for, but there's a actually, it's actually for sale on my website, but it's going to be free. If you join the membership, you're going to be able to get access to that for free, but I think it's not set to come out for them for free until next month. But there is a PDF that I created that asks these questions about, like, if you knew that you could have things your way and nobody would be mad at you and it wouldn't be wrong, to have the things that you want to have, and it would work, then what would you do? So in asking myself these questions, and of course, like I said, I created the workbook for that, the journal, the guiding journal for that. It was just like, well, I only post maybe once or twice a week. Yes, I'm quiet for a reason. Once or twice a week. Well, everybody is telling you to post once or twice a day. Well, I don't want to post once or twice a day. And if I do, like a lot of times the posts that you see in a group, I schedule those because I get into a mood where I wanted to talk to you guys, and I created the posts and I scheduled them out because I felt like it. But when I think about consistency, that's what I think about is, again, what feels good for me to do. And if it was like all going to work out, what would I do? And if it was that's the case, then I would only post in my group once or twice. I would maybe only do Instagram posts once or twice where everyone's saying, no, you can't do that. It's not going to work. Why not? I don't have to follow your rules. I don't have to. I get to forge my own path. And knowing that's the other thing too, as multi creatives, knowing that we are forging our own paths, we have to be diligent in the cultivating of the beliefs that it's okay for us to do. It's okay for us to forge a new path. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of work only if you believe that. Like if you believe, oh my gosh, this is gonna be so hard for me to only post on my Instagram once or twice a week because everyone's telling me I need to do stories and I need to do reels and I need to do this, but I don't want to do any of those things. Why do you have to? Like, seriously, you don't have to. Those are not your rules. So I want you to think about what consistency looks like to you and what are you comparing the consistency to. And if you could have things to be any kind of way that you wanted it to be, and you knew that it was going to work out, if you could just do it and you knew that it was going to work out, no matter what, it was going to be the end result was going to be the way that you wanted it to be, then what would you be doing? What would that consistency look like? I want you to think about that. Okay, the next one is not giving into shiny object syndrome. I love this one because when I was on watching YouTube, and this lady was talking all about digital products that you can sell on like Etsy. I don't even have, I have an Etsy, but I don't have anything on it. It's just like I created the Etsy and I'm just like, I don't think I really want to do this right now. Maybe next month I'll get into creating an Etsy account. Right now that's not my priority. And she was talking about all these, and I grabbed my notebook. Like I have this, this is what I use. This is my planner. As a matter of fact, yeah, I do have two trainings to go on today. Anyway, so I have, this is called a bullet journal, which this is a class that I'm actually going to be teaching probably in a month or two. This is a bullet journal, and it's just a notebook that just has, let me see if you can see that. Can you see that? It's just, no, you can't really see it. It's just dotted. It's just dotted lines. I mean, not even lines. It's just dotted pages, and you create what you need in here. So, like, where is it? So this is what I created. This is my January. This is where I put all my little, what do you call it? Scheduled events that I'm going to be. If it's a class that I want to attend, or if it's a call that I'm getting on with someone. Like this isn't scheduled because I just decided to do this morning because I can do that because I'm a multi creative and that's okay. But I also write down like all of my notes. I just write down all of my notes. I have a space for notes and I just write it down. And this kind of goes like by the week. I used to have thousands of notebooks. I just thousands of notebooks, and I just this one is like for projects. This was for last week, and then this is what I did for the last week. I actually put down like everything that I was going to be doing that week, and actually have a running list of things to do. But this week, which is one of the reasons why I love bullet journaling, is because this week I did all the things I want to get done, maybe, possibly. And then as I get them done, then I write them down here. And so this is just allowing me to keep track of what all I got done because I want to see what I started in January and where I am in March and where I am in July and where I am in in December. I want to see. This is like a way for me to to track, but it's also a way for me to keep everything all in one place. So my point in bringing this up is that I started writing out like all of the things that she was talking about in this class. I mean, in this YouTube video. And I'm pointing over there because my TV's over there. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's just like start writing it down. It's like, ooh, I want this. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Well, I could do this. And I'm just like, calm down. I just wrote it down. My point is that when you have shiny object syndrome, just write it down, and it will be helpful if you have a notebook where you're already looking at things anyway. You've got your schedule in here. You've got your. I even wrote down like what it is that I do, and this was like for the week. Excuse me. Where is it? Yeah, what I do. So I started writing down all the things that I do. I podcast, I got a blog, I do my designing, I upload to Redbubble, Society 6, and I also have a printful shop on my actual website. And I do emails, and I do them Mondays and Thursdays. And I've got my Facebook group, and I've got my membership, and I've got Instagram, and I'm doing some watercoloring and creating digital planners. So I've got all of this stuff, and I'm starting to fill in like all of the things that I'm doing underneath those different categories. And so like my point is to have a book, like a catch-all book where you can just write everything and anything down, and I would put it by the week. So the shiny object syndrome is real for us as multi-creatives, but it's not like so detrimental because again, it goes back to like, what do you feel like doing? Like, just really, I truly believe when you are leaning into what feels good for you to do, then it's always the right thing. You don't know what's going to come of it. And that's what I think part of is the biggest issue is the uncertainty around what is this going to produce? Is this going to move me closer to my goals? Is it going to push me further away? If I start creating this over here and abandon this over there, what's going to happen? Should I continue to do this? Because this seems to be, it is a great money maker, or it could be a great money maker, or, it's just like, what are we doing this for? And popular belief, I believe it all has to be about you. It all has to be about you. We are creatives. We're creating things for people. We're creating things for ourselves because we want to create things for ourselves. And the people buying it and loving it is a byproduct of the things that we're doing. I know People are like, you're supposed to put the people first. No, you're not. No, we're not. There are people who can put the people first, and that's not a problem for you to think about. I want to help people, and I want to help people, and I want to help people, and then by me helping people, then my business will grow. There is nothing at all wrong with that thought process and that belief system. Not at all. I don't have that one. I have, I want to do what feels good for me. And guess what? By me doing what feels good for me, I'm going to be the best person ever to help these people. That's there. It's me first. And then it's like you put the oxygen mask on. It's you first. And then by you doing you first, then all the help and the money and, and all of that kind of thing will come. But it's about me. It's about me. It's about me first. What do I want to create? What feels good for me to create? Everything. And I will also go to say that mine is about the money. A lot of people are like, oh, your money is, you're not supposed to. I'm gonna tell you that I'm about the money. Nobody starts a business just because they thought that it would just be cool to have a business. People start a business because they want to make their own rules, they want to have their own time, they want to have no cap on the amount of money that they make. They want to make money in their own way. Nobody starts a business just like willy-nilly. Like, this is not for the faint of heart over here. You want to make money. You want to make money in a way that you want to make money, and you want to do it all on your terms. And so it is about you. Your business is about you, but it supports other people, but it's about you first. There is no business without you. You have to be the end all be all. I know that sounds awful. It's like, oh my gosh, you're so selfish. Because that's what you're taught. That's what you're taught, that, oh, it's so selfish for you to put yourself first. But I'm going to tell you, for me, this may not be your sentiment. And that is okay if it's not. I'm okay with my sentiment. I'm okay with my belief system. So it's okay if you don't. I'm telling you, you have to believe whatever it is that you want to believe. As the version of you that you want to be, you have to start believing that according to who that person is. So if yours is different from mine, I am so okay with that. I just want to tell you that from the bottom of my heart. Like, I am so okay with that. I'm so okay with it. For me, my business is all about me. My business is all about what I want to create. My business is all about, like, even right now, me being able to, even though there's nobody here, like, there's nobody here on this live, and I'm just talking my brains off, because I know that in a minute or two I'm about to hop off here, because I'm going to get my kid up and we're going to start our day. That's not about other people. That's about me over here. Me wanting to structure my day the way that I want to structure it. Most mornings I get up, I'm up at like 5 something in the morning. I do a lot of my work in the morning. I do a lot of designing in the morning. I do a lot of scheduling out my posts in the morning. I do a lot of the stuff in the morning. And then I have the rest of the day to kind of be in and out of my son's schooling, to cook if I feel like it. I'm not a huge cooker. I'm not about the kitchen. and but I eat just fine. Like this, I'm a big girl. I eat just fine. So I guess I am about the kitchen. But I want to be able to do what I want to do. And so by 1, 2 o'clock, I'm kind of shut down. Then I'm watching my Netflix. I'm doing whatever. Like people, you guys can see that when I used to do my Facebook lives, this was just my office, and I actually moved my bed and my bedroom and my office together. And it sounds so weird to say that, because most everybody is trying to separate. If they have their office and their bedroom, that's the way they started out. I'm sitting up here trying to put mine together, and everybody else is trying to separate theirs. Do you understand? Like, this is what I wanted to do. Like, this was what I wanted to do. So again, my belief system allows me to have the understanding that ease and flow is my thing. This is, for me, is my freedom. And there's so much freedom that comes from you leaning into who you are and accepting who you are and living as that person of who you are. Who I am is that I just believe that it's me first. I believe it's me first in my business, and as a byproduct of me making myself happy and getting in my own flow and being and living and sharing those lived experiences, then I get to support others. I get to just do it naturally. It's just like the natural next step. It's just the natural inclination. It's the natural pathway of how things are created for me in my life. I do me, and by me doing me, then you get to do you. You know, I get to show you how to do you because I'm doing me. Okay. Anyway, that is it. That is all I have for you guys for today. If you want to be supported and you want to have more, as I say, you want to be able to ask me questions, you want to be able to pick my brain, you want to be able to move forward more in your business, and we're doing all that in the membership. The membership is for multi creative female entrepreneurs who want to build radical self trust and high level decision making skills so that they can create a thriving business around their soul led passions and have a and manifest a life that completely lights them the F up. Okay? All on their terms. So that's what we're doing over there in the membership. So it's only $15 a month. And again, you can always cancel at any time. There's classes that are going to be going on in there. There's a couple of little classes in there now. There's some really great posts and information for you to dive into that you can. We've got chats going on in there. There's little mini groups that are going to be popping up in there. It is a great space. Like, and it is not here on Facebook. It is actually in Mighty Networks, and I pay for that so that we can have our own space over there and not have all of the fuckery going on, you know, like that we have here on Facebook with all the distractions. I wanted us to have our community that is very, very much to ourselves, and it's a very intimate and bespoke community, and I absolutely love it, and I think you guys are going to as well. So that's all I have for you. If you guys have any questions about anything else, let me know. And if you are, tell me what you learned from here, from what you gained, what information you gained, what type of thinking you're now going to start applying, like what you're going to be doing now that you've learned some of this really high value information to help you work through your struggles. Let me know. Like, I want to know all the things. Tell me, girl. Tell me all the stuff. All right? Have a great day. And remember, life is happening now. Live free. Bye.